This is ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to English News Broadcast. I'm Bersabet Takhle, and these are the major headlines for today. The Eritrean community in Riyadh held its annual festival. The National Union of Eritrean Women in Israel conducted its Congress. U.S. announces additional $400 million in security assistance for Ukraine. And Santo Domingo de los Tajias is in a state of emergency. On your domestic news, the Eritrean community in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, held its annual festival on 3 and 4 November with patriotic zeal. The annual festival, that was attended by a number of nationals, featured seminar on the objective situation in the homeland and regional development, cultural programs, sports competition, children's programs, among others. At the seminar, Mr. Yusuf Said, head of the organizational affairs at the PFDJ, indicating that the Eritrean people in the past 80 years have emerged victorious by foiling external conspiracies and hostilities and have reached this promising stage, called for preserving the noble societal values and transfer them to posterity. Expressing that Eritrea will continue its constructive engagement in cooperation with partners to ensure peace and stability in the region, Mr. Yusuf called on diaspora nationals to strengthen organizational capacity and active participation in the national affairs. At the event, awards were handed over to winners of football competition and best players. The National Union of Eritrean Women branch in Israel conducted its Congress on 29 October. The representatives of the union that participated at the Congress expressed readiness to strengthen organizational capacity and participation in the implementation of the charted out programs of the union. They also elected an executive committee for 2 years' term. Speaking at the occasion, Mr. Solomon Kimfe, chargé d'affaires at the Eritrean embassy in Israel, expressed readiness of the embassy to stand alongside the union branch in all its activities. Students and government employees in the subzone of Ma'aini Southern Region and Beria Central Region carried out popular campaign in support of families of Mahdi's and disadvantaged citizens. According to reports, about 6,000 students and government employees in Ma'aini subzone collected harvest of 634 families in 14 administrative areas from 28 to 30 October. Expressing satisfaction for their harvest being collected on time, the beneficiary families said that the initiative attests to the noble societal values of the Eritrean people of supporting disadvantaged families. Similarly, lecturers, employees, and students of Orita College of Medicine and Health Sciences collected harvest of disadvantaged families in Wakaduba and Zada Christian administrative areas. According to Professor Yamana Seyum, Dean of the college, 971 students and 260 lecturers and employees of the college took part in the popular campaign. Professor Yamana also called on others to follow the noble example of the college community and collect harvest of the disadvantaged families on time. The participants on their part expressed satisfaction for being part of the popular campaign to support disadvantaged families and that they will sustainably continue the program. On your last local report, the National Association of Intellectual and Developmental Disability organized a meeting in Keren on 2 November aimed at developing the understanding of the public on intellectual and developmental disability. Lieutenant Colonel Burhane Bokhredzian, chairman of the association, said that even though intellectual and developmental disability is burdensome and complicated, it could be improved and develops if properly treated. Commending for the effort the association is exerting to develop the understanding of the public on the intellectual and developmental disability, Mr. Tesfatian Gurmai, Director General of Social Service in the Ansaba region, called on the public to play due part in the effort. The meeting was attended by Ambassador Abdullah Musa, Governor of the Ansaba region, representatives of the line ministries and national associations in the region, as well as religious leaders and others. The participants, on their part, conducted extensive discussion and adopted various recommendations. The National Association of Intellectual and Developmental Disability has been established under the auspices of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare with a mission to ensure the rights of citizens with intellectual and developmental disability. Dear viewers, coming up will be international news after the short break. The United States is providing about $400 million more in security assistance to Ukraine as the fight against Russia's invasion enters its 9th month. Yesterday, the Defense Department said that the latest package underscores the continued U.S. commitment to supporting Ukraine by meeting their most urgent needs, while also building the capacity of Ukraine's armed forces to defend its sovereignty over the long term. The U.S. now has committed more than $18.2 billion to Ukraine since the beginning of Russia's quote-unquote unprovoked and brutal invasion on February 24. The U.S. military assistance includes refurbished Hawk air defense missiles, funding for 45 refurbished T-72B tanks with advanced optics, communications and armor packages, 1,100 Phoenix Ghost tactical unmanned aerial systems, 40 armor river command boats, funding to refurbish 250 M1117 armored security vehicles, tactical secure communication systems and surveillance systems, and funding for training, maintenance, and sustainment. On today's last report, the Ecuadorian province joins Guayas and Esmeraldas, where a 45-day state of emergency was also declared on November 1st following explosive device attacks that left fatal victims. Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso said that he has decided to include the province of Santo Domingo in the state of emergency decree, which has also been affected by acts of terror since Tuesday. In Santo Domingo de los Tajias, several attacks with explosives were registered, although there is no record of victims. These attacks were carried out with car bombs near gas stations. The provinces of Guayas and Esmeraldas were also the target of more than 10 explosive device attacks in the last few days. As a result, 5 people were killed and several injured. You're still watching us on ERi-TV, dear viewers, and now recap of today's major headlines. The Eritrean community in Riyadh held its annual festival. The National Union of Eritrean Women in Israel conducted its Congress. U.S. announces additional $400 million in security assistance for Ukraine. And Santo Domingo de los Tajias is in a state of emergency. Dear viewers, that was it for today. Thanks for watching.